is in its place and everything is mine. I can't help but feel good. I can't help but feel fine. Everything is in its place and all of it is mine. Ooh, I can't help but smile. Ooh, I can't help but smile. I'm reinventing myself. I'm me and nobody else. I'm reinventing myself. I'm me and nobody else. Ooh, I can't help but smile. Ooh, I can't help but smile. Ooh, I can't help but smile.
Hello, and welcome to the Better Man Show. Thank you for joining me. Hi, I'm BK, and if we are friends, I shouldn't be surprised that you know that. But if you're not friends, don't be a stranger. Just hit me up wherever I am popping up on your radar. I am testing this live stream to a few platforms, and wherever I am popping up on your radar, just hit me up as a friend. So I think I might have had a secret ambition of being a DJ when I was young that I do not know about. Because I actually have spent time and effort to find tracks that are suitable for the show, right? So today the song title is actually called Can't Help But Smile by a group called Kids Penny. So kind of suitable to the theme of the show. And this is actually take two of a similar episode yesterday. So yesterday there was a bit of a internet outage in my apartment, so just got cut off halfway. Right? Well, live streams, it happens, right? And if you are joining us for the first time, you're wondering what this is all about and who this person is. Welcome to day 88 of a 100-day live stream challenge. This is day 88, and as I mentioned just now, this is take two of day 87 because yesterday there was a bit of a internet outage in my apartment. So exactly 88 days ago, it's happier and happier for me to say the number of days, these few days, because imagine when it was day 1, day 2, day 3, right? Now it's day 88 of a 100-day challenge. And yeah, exactly 88 days ago, I started a personal self-discipline challenge. It was not related to anything else except for the fact that I wanted to see if I could discipline myself to put out content over 100 days of live streaming. Now, of course, it has evolved over this number of days into other things, right? Namely, that I am challenging myself to figure out how to better transition onto something like this, a platform like this, which is live streaming, learning about the tech, the platforms, the sound, and everything, right? So if you are keen to get started in this arena, feel free to hit me up. I could probably share a tip or two and perhaps cut short some of your journey. In fact, over the past 80 something days, I have already helped a couple of friends, and very happy to say that some of them have also started their own shows in their own ways. So you definitely have something to offer to the world. Feel free to definitely start one if you have any intent, if you have any inkling of a desire, even right now, to do something like that. Feel free to do it. In fact, I can assure you that your friends are rooting for you, just like I discovered over these 88 days that many of my friends are rooting for me uh, through private messages, through conversations, through coffee chats. They tell, hey, good job, and all that, so all kinds of things like that. So just know that even if you are kind of worried about what you might want to say and what you can do and all that, right? Just be encouraged that your friends are there for you. I will be there for you, right? I'll be there for you. So, as mentioned, today is take two of yesterday's show, and I kind of wanted to talk about how to take charge of our health in four key areas. It is motivated by two unfortunate events that have happened over the past 2 days, and my sympathies and condolences go out to them. But I think in this day and age, it's even more important for us to start to be very conscious of our health, right? Especially in today's global climate and situation now. Now, before let's get going, but let's start with the most important thing first, which is some basics and disclaimer. Now, I I just need to let you all know that firstly, I'm not a doctor. I'm not medically trained, so this is definitely not health advice, definitely not medical advice. I do work with a lot of doctors. I do. I'm grateful that I learn a lot from the people I work around. I mean, I work with on a regular basis. I also have a lot of classmates who are doctors, but I'm not a doctor, so this is not medical advice. But like what you saw just now, be a student and not just a follower, right? So in everything that is in life, whether is it life, business, technology, or anything, right? Be a student of that area and not just a follower. That means even if you hear advice or tips or tricks from influencers, from gurus, from mentors, anybody, experts, don't take everything wholesale, but instead be a student of what they say and don't just be a blind follower. And so I am kind of happy that I have always been like that. I kind of, when I'm interested in something, I do spend time, and I will spend time in learning and gathering up information and then making up my own mind on those topics. So that's the same thing for you. So what I'm sharing today is a result of me being a student in with regards to health. So me being a student with regards to health, and I'm just sharing some of the tips that I may have gathered over the past couple of years, especially working with some very credible and wonderful people who are doctors or medically trained health professionals and so on, right? So once again, this is not medical advice, just sharing what I have learned over the years, right? So, four major relationships we need to think about when regards to health. So, number one is what we are eating, what we eat. And that is very important because that deals with our relationship with food, our relationship with food, right? So, the simplest way to think about this is that if you think about your body as a house to be built or a house to be maintained, then when you build a house, you need both materials and workers, right? You need both the raw materials as well as the workers. So when we eat, that is how our body is uh, getting the necessary raw ingredients in terms of proteins, amino acids, fats, and so on, right? That we can then use it to build the things that our body needs to build, right? So obviously, then that becomes highly important that we think about the things that we eat with careful consideration, right? Because quality ingredients means quality end product. Not so quality ingredients means not so quality end result, right? So if we feed our body with proper nutrients and ingredients, then we are enabling the body to do the work that it wants to do in the first place, right? So that's very, very important. Now, the other thing is with regards to our relationship with food, there's also a lot of very interesting emerging science that talks about things like not just what we eat, but when we eat is also important, right? What Not just what we eat, but when we eat is also important. So, like I said, any subject matter that you come across today in the world, right? There will always be people who say good things about it, and there will always be people who say bad things about it. There will always be people who tell you go for it, this is good for you. There will always be people who say this is not good for you. Who do you listen to? Again, the same philosophy: be a student, not a follower. So you might have come across phrases like intermittent fasting, or uh, ketogenic diet and stuff like that, right? So that is with regards to when we eat. And interestingly enough, some of these things are linked to Nobel Prize winning theories, right? Which is like, for example, for fasting, it is related to a concept called autophagy. So we kind of also need to give ourselves this thing here inside us a bit of rest, a bit of space to recover itself, to cleanse itself, and so on. So, not just thinking about the relationship with what we eat, but also when we eat it. And maybe might be a good idea to have a bit of a fasting cycle. And of course, how often you want to do it is entirely up to you. It is a subject that is probably um, that can last for one entire live stream or more, right? So go and explore for yourself. Be a student, not a follower. Things like intermittent fasting, different schedules that you may want to explore. Find something that suits you. Find something that suits you. Now, then another concept that is also an emerging science, okay, and I don't have time to go over it today, is the fact that have you ever noticed or wondered that how come some people are very health conscious, they eat all the right things, but yet they still struggle with their health goals. They may not be where they want to be. Now, there's emerging science that shows that our body, like a house, remember the house that we just mentioned, you need, when you want to build this house of ours, you need materials, and there's something in the body called like work. They are akin to workers. So there is emerging science that shows us that the level of workers are declining over time. And again, this is also linked to Nobel Prize winning theory. So if you want more information about such things, do hit me up. I'm happy to share them with you, what I know, and some of these materials that is of interest to you. Okay, so that is the first area you need to take charge of with regards to our health, thinking about our relationship with food. Now, you will find that the next few things are all about relationships and how we think about these areas of our lives. I kind of frame them in this way to help me to understand it, because it is interesting to think about like what is my relationship with this area. Like, for example, now we are talking about food, right? How do I think about it? What do I do about it? And what is it causing me to feel and react in that sense, right? So that's first area. Second area is what we do on a regular basis, right? And this is with regards to our relationship with our body, our relationship with our body. Now, in one single word, it simply means it just means exercise, right? We kind of need to make sure that we are moving, right? So thankful that doing this live stream helps me get in some exercise, because before the show starts, I do a little bit of a warm up dance behind the scenes, right? Behind the curtains. Well, it's a fun part. It does get the blood flowing. Um, Now, but exercise doesn't have to be difficult, and it's in fact it doesn't have to be the kind of things that you might imagine it to be, like going to the gym every day for an hour or getting on a treadmill or and so on. So you just work out something that you can do on a day-to-day basis, or on a semi consistent basis. Again, work out a schedule for yourself, but just important to know that it's always good to get moving, right? So for myself, for example, I do a very simple daily Tabata, which is kind of like a HIIT exercise program. HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. And I don't have to do it a long, it's not a long session, it's about 20-25 minutes. And I don't have to go far, because right now we have this, a lot of us are in semi lockdown or lockdown mode, right? So it's just a few steps from here, right? Just over to the other side. I just need an exercise mat and I can get going, right? I can get going. So, and it's not something difficult. So, exercise mat, a timer, and that's it, right? So that's how I get my workout every day, right? And it has been beneficial for me, right? So, and it's a good idea to do it, to get it done early in the morning, because again, there are other things that um, that helps you because you do it in the morning. So that's a topic for another day as well, right? Now, so of course, what we do with our body, one main part is exercise. The other main part is, again, it's like food, what we eat and what we don't eat. And exercise is what we actively do, but we also need to talk about what we should be not doing in the body. That means, for example, we should give our body enough rest and sleep, right? So on a daily basis, are you getting enough rest? Are you getting adequate sleep? And for me, that is also an area of challenge for 2021, something I want to focus on. So my relationship with sleep, uh, it's been a bad habit for years, and that is something that I would like to change, right? So it's the same thing for you. I mean, um, your body needs time to rest, and if we are not giving it enough time to rest, and recently, as I was learning from the masterclass series about sleep, there is there's something it's a real thing, sleep debt. Sleep debt is a real thing, and you cannot make up for it. That means if you missed several hours last night, you can't sleep more today and make up for it. It doesn't work that way. So something that I want to explore in 2021 for myself, right? So that's my relationship with my body with regards to what I do with it every day, right? So exercise and adequate rest. The third area of health is actually our relationship with our mind and what we actually think about from a moment to moment basis, right? You would be surprised that according to scientists, I think there's something like 70,000 thoughts per day that goes through our mind. I kind of think it's more than that, but it literally is that amount. So we are thinking all the time, every moment of our time of our life, right? And unfortunately, a large percentage of that time that we are thinking to ourselves is negative. It is negative, and you will be surprised, right? So in fact, they kind of say that if you listen to how you talk to yourself, if let's say you are a friend and this is how you talk to yourself, you're not going to be friends with yourself. And that's how interesting it is, because that's how we kind of talk to ourselves sometimes. And sometimes it can be very bad. It can be very bad and very negative. So this affects our brain chemistry. This affects our health because of how we think. And if we are constantly in a state of we're thinking negative thoughts all the time, then it doesn't help our health situation, interestingly enough, because our brain chemistry is then not ideal for health, right? So something I learned from a good friend is that one of the things that we could do very quickly to kind of improve this area of our health is start by being mindful of what we consume with our minds, right? So just like food, we also need to be mindful about what we consume for our minds. That means be mindful of things that we consume via the news, media, social media, etc., etc. Now, if they are not helping you, then consider tuning it out or cutting it down, or maybe even switching channels altogether. Right? There is plenty of negativity out there. In fact, bad news sells, and therefore that's why there is always this propensity for media to cover it in a negative way, right? And then how can we overcome this is by um, something called meditation, something again that I would like to explore more in 2021, or simply think of it as being mindful. And in fact, just today I learned from a friend, this is a quick tip for all of us to try, right? So as we go about each and every day, like what I said just now, he said the first good, easy way to start being mindful is throughout the course of the day, ask ourselves or think about what exactly are we thinking about at that point in time throughout the day. And initially, you might not know, or you might not even be attuned to what was I thinking about. It doesn't, it slips you, it's kind of slips your mind, forgive the pun. But as you practice more, you will start to realize that, oh no, I was thinking about this very bad thing, or I was thinking about this person, this neighbor, this incident that happened years ago that has impacted me in a bad way, and I'm still thinking about it. And you start to realize that throughout the day, these are your thoughts, right? So that is one quick and easy way to start being mindful of our minds. I mean, or what we do on a regular basis, and that can help you, right? Um, it is been shown that a lot of high performers, top achievers, do practice mindfulness or meditation before the start of the day, and that might be something that is good for you, right? I'm gonna try it on a more consistent basis. So join along and let me know. And of course, if you are a practitioner already, I met a friend the other day, and he's been a serious practitioner, and I learned from him, right? I learned from him, so that's a good thing. Now, the other thing is what we think about or what our relationship with our mind. The other aspect of it is it's also good to have some goals, aspirations, and dreams, because when we have goals, aspirations, and dreams, and we then have something to look forward to, we kind of um, position ourselves or prop ourselves to be in a better positive outlook. And when we are in a more positive outlook or mental attitude, our body responds in corresponding ways, and therefore that helps our health as well. And very, very important, very, very important right now in this current time and age, right? And the last, relationship, with regards to health, who we hang around with, which is our relationship with others, right? It's interesting that I've kind of lumped this with relationships or with health, because it is actually a vital component of health. Because for one, no man is an island, right? And a healthy relationship, for example, with friends, family, loved ones, community, etc., has also been shown to be very beneficial to health, right? Very beneficial to health, and we need to explore this area of our health as well, because how we are, our relationship with other people is going to impact our health tremendously, right? In fact, a psychologist says that happiness is derived from two areas. One is our work, where when we put in productive work, that gives us happiness and joy. The other area is from people we love and the people who love us, right? That also gives us happiness. And when we are happy, our body chemistry is again in a much better situation. Therefore, we will put ourselves in a much better scenario to um, be up against anything that the world may throw against us in regards with regards to health, right? So who we hang out with is also may also be relevant because it is also part of the content we consume, right? Sometimes we and where we've we kind of gravitate towards hanging out with upbeat positive people, right? That's why, because it helps our body chemistry to feel better as well, right? Whereas when we hang out with people who may be always down and negative and so on, we kind of always feel that maybe I'm not going to hang out with them so much, right? That's another reason why, right? So just four key areas when we think about health, or when I think about health, which is my relationship with food, my relationship with what I do with my body on a day-to-day basis, my relationship with my mind, right? And last but not least, my relationship with others. So when we take charge of these four areas, we then start to take charge of our health, and then we are going to move ourselves to a better plane of health level that we want to aim for. So back to basics, the very first slide that I started with. Again, be a student, not a follower. These are just four areas that I have um, digested for myself. There might be other areas for you, and hopefully, what I'm sharing is just a springboard for you to think about, right? And if you're keen to find out more of these Nobel Prize cutting edge breakthroughs in health technology that might be beneficial to your health, just hit me up, send me a message. Happy to send the research and the content along your way, right? So thankfully the internet is okay today. This is day 88. um, I have a friend who started her own personal live stream challenge and personal discipline challenge. She has done it in a slightly different format. She doesn't stick to a semi regular time slot. I have chosen this time slot, and I'm not sure whether that's a good idea or not now, because I guess this time period is a time when a lot of people are consuming content on the internet, and therefore puts a little bit of strain on the network, right? And so I found that lately, the past couple of nights around this time, the internet in my apartment is not as stable as it is during the daytime when, let's say, most people are not using the internet as much. But I am thankful. Today was a full episode. I managed to get through this, and this is day 88. Thank you for joining me. Don't be shy. Just send me a message wherever you are watching this from. And feel free to let me know if this content has been helpful for you. And I will see you tomorrow for day 89.